All right, a couple of special guests in the house tonight. Jack.
Back in the stew.
Back in the stew. Jack Agner, virtual guest joining us. We got Kyle Schultz.
Yep.
Avid documentary producer these days. Put out another banger. Breaking that down. Catching up. A lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, we
Christmas gifts to exchange, as you can see littered across the room a little bit.
Illinois Tourney Talk.
Interview with Landon. Just a good pod where there's a lot to work with. A lot of meat on the bone for us to chew through.
A ton.
This
draft coming
I
up
love
too.
a protein heavy meal.
It was fantastic.
So
this is a great time.
No, it's
spring
great
and
time to be
MLW.
alive. This is like when it's all right in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when
all your goals are still achievable.
turning.
It's kind of like, I compare this kind of like draft season of MLW, like the last 3 weeks of April. It's kind of like, it's like selection Sunday almost. It's like everything's right in front of you.
Right.
You got first four to warm you up. It's kind of like the draft video and then the preview, and then it's like we're getting rolling.
Yep.
So good times around here. This is the Pipe It Up podcast, and cue the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pipe It Up podcast, the official podcast of MLW Wiffle Ball. I can't even contain my smile right now as Jack Agner's in the house. Dad Agner, first episode back. He's in back. The studio. And you maybe missed as many as I have in that time period, which is impressive. Virtually, I'm saying. Well,
yeah, I appreciate the flexibility allowing me to be virtual. It's been
awesome having you.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been the same, I would say, the dynamic on the podcast, but I feel like we're still putting out really quality episodes. We've been getting some really quality guests on. So yeah, it's exciting to be back here. Came in town to shoot the draft video, so this is probably the most dressed up we've ever been for a Pipe It Up episode, which is really cool.
Forgot my watch.
We're dressing for success here.
Yeah, I have to. I need something to... I've always dressed for success. I feel like we've seen a varying level of dress codes for the draft video. I think me and you have a history of wearing a suit. You've gone quarter zip, I think.
Are we not all wearing suits in this video?
Drew has a crazy fit.
I think I heard about this.
You guys haven't seen it yet. You'll see it in the video, but it's just one of those, like, it's a Drew moment.
I honestly thought that was just like a given.
I've always gone suit. I think you went Bryant Polo one time.
It was a wide spectrum this year for sure.
Yeah,
I did probably wear a polo once.
Yeah, I always go suit. Hasn't worked in the past. Maybe I should have just worn a sweatshirt. Tried to change the mojo a little bit.
Dressing for success, I think, is a very real thing. I can't cite a specific study off the top of my head, but I feel like there are certain things that happen in your brain when you're dressing
to the nines
in a certain way. Yeah,
worked for Dirty Dan and the Eagles.
Mm-hmm. True.
At AT&T this year. But okay, so it's great. Everyone's here in studio. We have Kyle Schultz joining us as well. We'll have Landon on in a minute. Before we even get into the documentary, the upcoming draft, there's a lot to talk about in the wiffle ball world this week, or the MLW world at least. But it is April 16th as you're hearing this.
The typical time that people open Christmas gifts.
Correct. So we have some gifts that are long overdue because we have not seen Jack. We have a gift from Patrick Ballman, PB, a gift from Kyle Schultz, and a gift from myself. Jack, I think you brought something for me.
Show my gift. Show him the wrapping for my gift.
Oh, Jack brought his gift for me in a black bag here.
This is the new.
I mean, one of yours
environmentally friendly wrapping. You don't have to throw away.
One of yours is in a Kroger grocery bag. So, and I actually thought I had misplaced it. So that's from Kyle, and I had taken it because I was going to deliver these to you in person at your home.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know where the gift was that's in the Kroger bag, and I luckily found it today in my car under a seat. So.
I've actually had the gift for Tommy for so long that it got to the point where my wife was actually putting sticky notes on it. She put a sticky note on it. This would have been like 3 weeks ago now at this point, that's just said, "It's March. Give this to Tommy."
This is a woman who is juggling her first newborn.
Yes.
Still had the time to put a sticky note on the gift.
Went out of her way to put the sticky note on the gift.
That's a good woman right there.
Yes.
That's a good wife. Shout out to Sarah.
Yes, 100%.
You got 3 gifts to open. I only have 1. You want to start us off here?
Sure, why not? Let's do it.
Okay. So, Jack, this is from me
to
you. And I don't know if you recall from the Christmas episode, but I told Kyle that in my family, I've mentioned it before, my mom has a history of every year tradition that she gets her 3 children, myself included, an ornament.
Yes.
That kind of symbolizes something you did that year, whether it was an achievement, somewhere you traveled, a new passion of yours.
Mm-hmm.
So for Kyle, I got him a Michigan 2024 national championship ornament, because that did happen in the calendar year of 24, even though it was like the second week of the year. And
awesome.
That's your memory. I don't know if you and Sarah are a couple that is just a classic all bulbs, pretty looking tree, but this is something you put in the back of the tree, maybe kind of hide it a little bit deeper in the tree, and someone looks at that and says, why do you have this? And then you tell them the story.
This is great. This was actually our first year that we had a Christmas tree.
Okay.
And so we basically, like, it was the first year we got to decorate a Christmas tree as a family, that's a pretty cool tradition.
That is.
So we're not the bulbs. In fact, Sarah
Are we gonna need a knife to open this?
Sarah brought
Do I gotta go get one?
Sarah got her box of ornaments.
Jack, do you need help with that?
I thought I just lightly taped it to keep it shut.
Let me see if my keys.
I got nothing on me.
My keys are in my backpack.
Don't got a pocket knife on you.
This
Why don't I just dad strength it?
You could.
Am I gonna break it?
Come on, man.
You shouldn't. I thought I taped one of those just lightly so it would stay shut. Maybe I'm totally wrong on
I can
that.
go get something if you need
We
it.
might need assistance here.
All right, pass the time, Tom.
Yeah, pass the time. How about you?
So what I was gonna say
let's
is
jump to a different gift here.
Well, no, I'll open it while I tell the story. So
Okay.
the gift or the ornaments that are in the box that Sarah got from her parents. When you're saying, are we like a bulb only type family or like custom? Sarah has like paper plate ornaments that she made when she was like 5
that's awesome.
in this box. So
That's what Christmas is all about.
That's what gives you.
I think we got it.
Yeah, we got it.
We got it.
That's good podcasting right there.
Great podcasting. This is good ASMR.
Okay, I'm opening it.
He's got
for the audio listeners.
Describe what you see for the audio listeners, Jack.
It's a bag. That's white. Oh. This is fantastic. This is for the audio only listeners. The juiciest waffle looking ornament I think that's probably on the market right now.
It'll never
folks.
escape you.
I think these are blueberries on here.
I think they are.
This is absolutely fantastic. When you were saying like the tradition of, something you accomplished, something you did, my mind went to, well, I became a dad.
That is
this
true.
year. So maybe it's like,
that probably would have been a little bit more appropriate,
but no, it was the waffles.
My pea-sized brain's like waffles.
I love it.
That's all I think about when I think about Jack.
I absolutely love it. This is fantastic. Sarah's going to love this too.
Is she?
It's going to go on the tree. I know
Even though
that.
she was very against that bet.
She'll like the ornament. It's a stylish ornament. I mean, if we're being objective here, this is a nice looking one.
The fact that I was even able to track down a waffle Christmas ornament was pretty impressive.
I was gonna say I don't know where you found that, but that's incredible.
Shout out to Bezos. Shout out to Uncle
Jeff.
Uncle Jeff Bezos.
Okay, how about I go one more?
Okay,
and then you can go, and then I'll go.
Okay, you want to go? Save the blue box for last. I think you should go with the Kroger,
all right, this one's for me.
bag.
Okay, this is the Kroger bag.
Yep, this is a classic gift right here.
Oh, just some lax balls. Gotta have them.
I feel like you can't have enough.
No, you definitely cannot. In fact, I am responsible for ordering and tracking, if you will, the lacrosse balls for the lacrosse company that I'm working with, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap. You'd be surprised how many lacrosse balls that you use and lose, and how often you do it. So that's fantastic.
I have a question as a lacrosse amateur. What's the pearl of lacrosse? What is the best lacrosse ball?
It's literally called a Pearl.
It is called Pearl.
The brand is called
That's
Pearl.
a great brand name for a lacrosse
which we
ball.
only buy pearls.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the difference there is just you're gonna pay a lot more for the ball. But the thing with lacrosse ball, I don't know what it is in baseball, but like the lacrosse ball is like you use it enough and it starts to get that shine and like grease on the outside where it starts to get slippery.
Those are the ones that I find in the field and give to my dog.
Exactly. You can't. There's no grip on it, so it just falls out of your stick when you're playing with it. Those pearls that we buy, they literally like don't grease. They just don't grease.
Interesting.
So it's worth. You're paying a lot more. So hopefully you're practicing in an area where like you're not going to lose a lot of balls because if you don't lose them, they don't get greasy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I learned something tonight.
Yeah, literally called pearls. Yeah.
I always call it new baseball pearl because it's just so white and pure.
I think that's probably where they came up with the name. It's just a shiny pearl
name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball,
not shiny, but just a perfect.
Baseball, it's more of like the laces and the feel, and like the quality of the leather just has like more of a tack to it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas like a ball
gets dirty and it just kind of gets.
But again, it's
down.
like $1.99, or it was when I played, probably double that now. But a $2 baseball versus like an $8 baseball, like it's a big difference.
Yeah.
In terms of what you'd pay, I bet you it's now it's like $15. If I would guess.
We will actually sometimes buy because they're way cheaper. I I think they call them like their pearl seconds or something. And they're like, there's like something small that's defective with them. That so they can't sell it for like the full price, but there's really like nothing wrong with the integrity of the ball. It might be like a little nick or something like that with how it got made. And they're like $1 cheaper or whatever.
Interesting.
So
is it my turn?
Yeah, your turn.
I think I see what it is. I'm pretty excited about this.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
There you go.
Golf balls.
This is gift. Once you get above, I mean, in college too, for a lot of people probably, but once you stop playing competitive sports, if you did, and you get out of college, the golf ball gift never fails.
No,
it really never fails, especially when you're not actually a good golfer, which, no offense, Tommy, neither of us are good golfers, so you lose a lot of balls.
Pearls.
Thank
you, Jack. This is a great gift.
There's a theme here.
I'm looking forward to using these. In fact,
You're welcome.
to commemorate seeing Jack here, I have not played my first game of golf this year in the state of Michigan. I played in Arizona once, but I'm gonna use the sleeve.
I love it.
I'm gonna use the sleeve. So thank you. Great gift.
All right.
I love getting Christmas presents in April. It's nothing better.
This is fantastic. I think we should start a new tradition here.
I think we should actually always do a gift exchange in April now.
This is great. Okay, so I think this is the bobblehead.
Be careful with that, yeah.
It's from PB.
Because there is a component that moves around. It's pretty spectacular. I would argue it's the best of the three.
This is oh no.
No, see, the bat comes free, but don't worry. It sits in your hands.
Yeah, but the head came off.
The head also pops off, but it sits perfectly.
How? This is unbelievable.
Jack's hair
is so good.
Is so good on this bobblehead. We gotta get some close-up shots.
This is like state of the art.
It is actually
this is
incredible.
very, very good. I love this.
I mean, I love all,
even the bat.
I love all three.
This was the bat that I used.
I love all three.
The detail is insane.
Yeah, this is great.
But it's just so good.
Do we have a shout out for who made this? I know PB. This is from PB. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, I think he might have told it to me, and I failed to shout him out. PB, if I know you're editing this, feel free to put a link on screen for 15
that'd be
seconds.
great.
They've earned it. And
this is
PB,
fantastic.
just again for Patrick Ballman.
Yeah, round of applause.
Round of applause. Look at that trio.
Come on,
Jack. Am I taller than you?
Come on.
Yeah,
well, he's got me bending.
You're crouching.
Okay, you're crouching.
He's got me crouching.
You're in your stance.
I'm in my batting stance.
It's times like these. It's not real life. It's just the times.
Look at that trio.
It's pictures and
Look
it's
at that. Come
looking
on.
at that is like,
Come on
man,
now.
I wish I had a nice facial hair. Like that looks money.
They did a much better job than what it normally looks like, I think.
Your facial hair?
Yeah.
Jack, you've had a great beard for like 10 years now, at least.
I mean, that's just so well done. I'm very impressed. You guys,
it is pretty cool.
You guys did talk up the bobblehead, and it even exceeded
this is
my
your
expectations.
first time seeing all of them, right?
Yeah. Well, I saw them virtually,
Pictures,
but yeah.
but-
I mean, that's like on par, or if not better, than the bobblehead nights you see at MLB games. Like, it's just that type of caliber. So good.
It's so good.
I mean,
it's really so good. What a great gift.
Yeah, like the attention to detail on some of this stuff is so good. Again, the bat, the jersey, the font, like everything. Your shoes, it's so good.
You got a bracelet on there.
Is that your wiffle ball thing?
I don't know. I just don't take this bracelet off.
Mine has one too because I was wearing in the picture that he used to make that. I was wearing the Miami Marlins.
He's even got my
wristband.
sleeve on there.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular.
That's awesome. That is so good.
So awesome. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Come
Christmas.
on.
Christmas in
Come
April.
on, pipe it up. Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas, Pat.
I'm actually very excited to use these golf balls. Wow, I love
this.
Christmas.
Is fantastic.
I love getting gifts and giving gifts. I've been waiting to give you that waffle for a long time.
That's a good gift.
It's so funny though because
really good gift.
Yeah, my brain, your first time dad, I'm just like waffles. First thing I thought of. But hey, that was our memory. That was our memory. Well, I fully support you. I'm so happy for you about the child. The memory that we shared together was the waffles. You have a lot of stuff to commemorate your first child.
It was a great gift.
Now you'll have it hanging on your tree for a long time.
I'm very excited. I will forever. I mean, I wasn't ever going to forget that day, I don't think. Especially every time I drive by a Waffle House. But now having that ornament on it's on the tree, it's going to be very special.
It's a memory I'd love to forget, but can't forget for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to.
We'll have to start brainstorming, Jack, for next year's wager, like very soon.
Yeah.
Very soon. Well, great. Got the gift exchange out of the way.
Awesome.
Again, a lot to discuss in the MLW world, so we'll pivot a bit. We have Landon joining us in a few moments, but first we do have Kyle Schultz here. We give a round of applause to Jack, to PB, to the Bobblehead Company. Now it's time for a round of applause for the
Just rounds of applause.
Just
everywhere.
applause for everybody
Come
tonight.
on.
Everyone gets claps.
Come on now.
You get a clap.
Appreciate
you get
it.
a clap. Kyle, another documentary. That is documentary 17, 18, 19, 20.
It's the 6th doc.
6th. I count like this. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
6th doc. That's, what do you think? 6 documentaries in.
Well, it took me the longest to edit, and we had all the guys on site. We went down to U of M and the School of Business to kind of shoot that like 2 months ago, and they gave me some great confessionals. We had 2 angles on them. They were able to just give me some good insight, and yeah, editing took a long time, but I thought it was well worth it, and it's being well perceived, so very proud of it.
I have a question. There's so much footage, like from a season, to go through. You obviously edit all the videos, which helps you because you actually know what footage you have. But how much time did you like waste just looking for the right clip of somebody to include in a 2.5 second frame of the video? Or did you already like know like what you needed to get and where it is? You're pretty good at saying organized, but
I think a lot quicker than if you were to like hire somebody to make a documentary, just because like if I want a Robles 2-seamer that was nasty, I know I for sure got to go to a second inning of a game that he was pitching, so game 1 or 3. So like instantly I can just like identify
because you have that second angle
clip,
behind the plate,
a certain point like in my like folder of hundreds and hundreds of clips. So a lot faster than you think, but it definitely adds up in time, just given that I want to have the best. Like I want to make sure I'm getting the best clip, the best pitch, the best clip that matches up with what somebody is saying in their interview. So whether that's a photo, a graphic, something I got to create, or a specific video, like that's what kind of takes time. Just making sure I always get like the right form of media.
Yeah.
I feel like you do a good job too of maybe not necessarily like, because you obviously during the season don't know what that documentary is going to look like at the end of the season, but you still get shots that might not make it into the main video for whatever series it is, but you're filming it with the idea of like, I could maybe use this at some point later when it makes sense.
Exactly.
And then, I mean, you obviously have to recall when you film that and find it, but I feel like you do a good job of just getting content that it's like, yeah, we could maybe use this somewhere, and then it ends up working like perfect.
Yeah, just documenting everything. Like I think the biggest thing that comes to mind when you say that is like when we traveled into Arlington and we were doing like the setup day at AT&T Stadium. And like the boys were tossing the football around, and like we were setting up the field. There's a whole time lapse in the video, and like it's like this is a huge trip. That's like one of the biggest things to ever happen to our brand. We want to document every single moment that we're there.
Yeah,
and it didn't play in the World Series game 1, 2, or 3 video, but the documentary is just the perfect place to put it, and so that's why I kind of encourage like our filmers that are there, whether that's like Ethan Weiner, my brother Brendan, myself, whoever it might be, Tommy in the past, like. It's just good to get everything just documented and saved on a drive because you never know when you're going to use it.
Yeah.
Gotta have the clips.
I really liked that part. I mean, we'll probably get into
Did I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Those were absolute seeds from McGlade to Crash.
Did
you see his toe tap in the end zone on that one clip?
They were, yeah. I saw it. But
yeah,
like it's like was that actually the difference in the World Series?
No.
I don't know.
It's a documentary. I play stuff up. Like they're like a couple of the other guys were playing football. But
I don't think it didn't have any.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a business trip for the Eagles. That's not.
No, for sure.
I exaggerate stuff. Like I amplify them.
Yeah.
Like I could sense the moods on both sides, and that's what I kind of went on. Like what I kind of build it on. But like the other guys were still having fun. You know,
100%,
the Eagles were still taking it in, taking pictures, laughing, like running around for a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of funny just the way the Preds treated it.
Dan wore a suit. He's dressed for success.
Dan wore a suit. That was the difference, really.
That was the difference.
It was just cool to see because we had talked. I can't remember if it was Dan. It was probably Dan after the World Series, and a lot of what he said in the documentary, he said to us, where he's saying the same things. Like it was a business trip.
It was.
You know, the setup day, we were like kind of locked in. The Preds were, kind of having some fun. Like throwing the ball around, but then like to actually see the clip of him like actually doing it, Crash like toe tapping in the end zone, which like you can't blame him. I mean, you got to toe tap in the end zone, right?
And Landon said it best too. That's what they were like last year in Atlanta. Like they were doing the same thing because you never know if you're going to get back, so they took it all in. But they knew that if they went back again and lost again, they would just like that would not ever let them down. So
I think that definitely helped the Eagles in this series.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, it's always so cool to play in another stadium, another venue, but that was the first trip like this, the Preds have done it in the regular season, but in the postseason, it's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it was
a stadium of that magnitude.
I don't think it was like the sole reason they won, but I do think it played a part.
I mean, that was Dan was at SoFi, then he played in it in Atlanta. This is his second time playing it, third time being there. Like
he just wants to win this point.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yeah,
sure. I think that was actually part of the storyline. One of the cooler parts about me not being as involved in the league last year was it does give me a different perspective watching these documentaries now because you forget certain details. I wasn't present for everything. I've watched all the videos, but you have a different level or degree of like, I don't want to say competence, but just a degree of knowledge in terms of behind the scenes and the storylines and every series, every play, every outcome. So like one thing I wasn't really expecting necessarily in this documentary, I figured it would be very centered around Dallas and that story and the revenge from going down 3-2 the previous year, then bouncing back and winning. Like that's a story that's easy to tell from the surface level, but diving into the actual Preds and that series they had at the end of the regular season, how Ryan pitched in all 3 games, that was something that like it didn't come to my head immediately as like an easy story to tell, but that was sort of a subplot leading up to that actual championship. But I'm assuming you had that planned from pretty early on in the agenda phase.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were shocked when they faced Ryan for over 5 innings in that series, and it was a huge part of why I think they saw him so well, or at least got to in like game 2, game 3 in Dallas. So I figured why not kind of highlight that for a couple minutes. So, and I'm not trying to like bash Ryan or anything. Like he put up an incredible season. Like he's the 3-peat MVP for a reason. In that series against the Eagles, like if he didn't do that, if he didn't put up those 4 home runs and all those good pitching statistics, like his insane season would have been just less impressive, and it could maybe be beat in the future. But what he did kind of like cemented him as one of the best, if not the best, regular seasons ever in MLW history. So Cratch always has that, and it's not for sure like the reason he pitched is the reason they lost the World Series. Like it could have gone either way if he got more help from like Warda, Russell, Rudy, whoever it is, Levi. But it definitely was a factor, I think, and the Eagles all knew that. So I figured I'd ask them those questions, and they gave me great answers.
Yeah,
that was another thing that stuck out to me for sure that I didn't exactly remember. Kind of like you were saying, like I remembered it happened, but I didn't really think about it in the same way that the documentary portrayed it. But do you think, like, if we asked Ryan and asked Alec why they pitched him so much, would they honestly say that it was because he wanted to continue to kind of like help his stats? Because in hindsight, it's sort of like, I'm trying to remember, like, would he have won if he just batted in that series? Like, would he have still won MVP probably?
MVP race at that point in time, was it Robles and Cratch? I'm trying to think.
Like, I'm honestly asking because I don't remember.
Well, you never know, because like, what if Cratch gets swept in the first round and they don't even get there, and then say Dallas goes on an insane run like he did, which he was 7-0 in the postseason, and he could have stole that MVP from Ryan right then and there, like with that run he went on. So like, I think Ryan was just trying to further cement it, and I don't blame him for that. And like, that's why he's one of the most popular players in this league. That's why people love him. That's why I was just at a tournament. Everybody's trying to replicate his like 360 spin moves and all his signature moves. Like, he's a 3-peat MVP for a reason. So I think what they would say is that they want to keep him fresh for the playoffs. Dallas actually pitched a little bit in that series, but not the 2 starts. But I think they just wanted to keep him fresh and further cement that MVP for voting.
Hey, Ryan always says in his interviews though, he just wants a ring.
I know that's kind of what.
Is there truth to that?
That's why I'm posing the question.
Is Ryan on the hot seat?
I feel no, he's not on the hot seat, but I know that he said like that is his goal and that he would give up some of his accolades to get that goal. But again, you were kind of talking about how you pump up the storylines, you play into the way things are portrayed, and that was kind of how you portrayed it. Is like the Preds were, I can't remember if it was like Landon or something had said like they were maybe going for like individual accolades, and we were looking like further than that.
That's how they felt. They gave me,
and that's how they felt. But I'm just asking, like, I don't know, because I've heard Ryan say that, right? That's all he wants is a ring.
Yeah.
Also, every doc needs like spice to it.
It does, of course it does. Otherwise, it's not going to have any.
Exactly.
It's not going to be entertaining.
Exactly.
You know what I think my favorite clip of the doc was, just because it's, I don't know, again, I wasn't expecting to see it. Fun trip down memory lane was the first time we had Dallas on camera when I had the water bottle.
I know.
That was really good.
Clip.
I went
so
really good.
awkward.
Deep in the archives for that one.
I remember that. Dallas in his red shirt.
Yep.
He was money.
That was the pretty much like the second tournament ever we've ever run in our history. That was 2018 in August, the first time we've held a tournament in Brighton. Here comes this Dallas Allen kid with his two buddies. I remember him being a Wildcat fan at that time. He always tried to replicate my riser, and I think we made him like an impact player or something like that, or maybe that was the year after. But we saw something in him, so that's why we interviewed him. And just
we were just making a video.
Yeah, bright kid from the
It
beginning.
is just weird though, because you forget, like. Dallas, it's like,
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't remember
I've known
that.
Dallas from, I mean, I remember doing that. And I remember Dallas playing that tournament when we first met him.
But it's funny you being like, your name's Dallas, right? You're
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
name's
saying.
Dallas.
Now it's like, oh, I've known Dallas for 5-6 years.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't remember that's what you said, so I'm like, the fact that we have that on video is insane to
That
me.
is pretty cool.
Like literally just like
But that's
talking to somebody
Yeah.
for the first time.
But
Yeah.
that's a prime example of what I was saying.
Like,
Whereas like you
not knowing
you
what the
did
video
that
is gonna be
5
used for.
years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And yeah, you didn't know that clip was maybe going to be used.
Oh
but
yeah, there's
it's
terabytes
perfect.
of footage that like didn't see the YouTube main final edit that we could eventually use. It's just
right.
gotta get
Being-
the clips.
Being a YouTuber is such a grind. And I think we all have that person in our friend group that was like, man, if we filmed everything, like we'd all be famous or have a reality show. But like, it is pretty cool to have a lot of your life on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not because it's a lot of work and it's
Especially, like, the childhood of
obnoxious,
it.
but yeah, like those are cool. A lot of cool clips. I'm sure there's tons and tons of them that, we actually do have documented footage of that
Yeah.
moment.
Like a Chad Rensie walk-off home run off of like the Eagles in 2011 to go to the World
Like
Series.
the backyard, those are the backyard memories you have. Everyone has, like playing sports, whether it's like, driveway
Yeah, but nobody's got
basketball
them
or
on
mini
film.
sticks. But yeah, and we do, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is
Which
cool.
is pretty cool.
It
So
is cool.
I enjoyed that part of the doc a lot.
Thanks. Yeah, I knew that. I think I've already heard from Dallas's mom. She was tearing up about that,
Yeah.
and like at the end when Dallas won it all, I
Yeah.
knew that clip was definitely gonna like draw some waterworks because it's like such a
Plus the audio,
wholesome like clip.
audio.
Documented Dallas's journey from 2018 to getting drafted. He was actually the final out in their 3 postseason runs in 23, 22, and 21.
Yeah.
And for him to, be on the mound and pitch for the final out of the World Series, pitch every single inning, it was just such a
kudos to him.
full circle moment, man.
Kudos to all the Eagles, obviously, and super happy for all of them. But I think what you did a really good job too of showing in the documentary was just the commitment from all of them and the passion from all of them, and especially Dallas. I mean, he being in the league for as long as he's been, like you even showing how he's changed from when he came in to what he was last year, and that's only just because of like his dedication and how much how much he cares about it, and he got rewarded for it. They all got rewarded for it.
He threw a bullpen on
Christmas
Christmas.
bullpen.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Preparing his arsenal for the next season. I mean, that's just next level.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, even to see the clip of him, kind of mentioning, I think it would have been in 2023, maybe when they got knocked out, and he was kind of just saying how maybe he was in his head or something, and to see the growth in him as like a player, a person, like his mental performance, his physical performance after that, I thought that was like really cool to see that progression.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I tried to touch on everything from just what drove them from the mental aspect as well as personal journeys, and especially like when Alec comes up for the final out, Daniel mentioning
That was also storybook.
the
Yeah.
2019 aspect.
I forgot about that.
Right, I wanted to just try to get as many storylines mentioned in this video that like really played a factor. I wanted to just like give our viewers what every single player was thinking of, even Carson, like on the side when the final out's about to be thrown. Just about like maintaining your confidence, like this could really be done right here. Landon too, just all the clutch moments he's had too, what he was thinking before Robles threw the pitch, what he was looking for. Like I love diving in on specific at bats, and all the walk-offs that Landon had were just big points of emphasis for me heading into that. So they all gave me great interviews, like I always said.
Yeah. We'll get to Landon in just a moment. But yeah, just the layers. Again, another thing I forgot about was tying in the rematch of the World Series from 5 years prior.
Yeah.
Alec hits the walk-off off of Daniel. Daniel then drafts the following season, brings in Dallas, and it's just, or 2 years later, brings in Dallas, and then just it's just funny. Sports are cool.
They sweep them back.
Sweep them back. Last thing I'll mention about this before we have Landon on is the new and improved intro was very clean.
Thank you.
That had to have taken forever, I'm assuming.
I had some After Effects template work.
Yeah.
But like syncing up with my song and just like the speed of everything and dropping clips and finding those old photos and videos. Yeah, I mean, I wanted it to be perfect. And if you go back and slow it down, it kind of highlights from like 2010 all the way to present.
Yeah,
like it's chronological.
That.
So yeah, there's photos of Daniel in there. There's the Chad Rensie walk-off that's very famous. Like my 2014 Wildcats when we were holding the trophy up. Like it documented everything.
Decades of footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
all the way from
pretty sweet.
2010.
It's so funny you brought that up because I literally was watching that going, I don't know how he did this. Like, I don't know how he edited it. Like, how did he?
Jack's baby
how did
brain
this
couldn't
happen?
comprehend it.
No, I was like, there's no way.
I'm glad you like that and recognize that because every 30 for 30 up to this point, I kind of let off with like 3 videos and it'd just be black and white and some photos.
The still image of
But
Dan
like,
with his hands up.
Yeah.
That was classic.
But I really wanted the first 10 seconds to be like a real eye grabber. Like you'd be drawn in right away. So that's why I kind of just let off with the Mercedes-Benz thing. That let off the story really, like in real life too. Like I wanted it to be like that's what they always drew upon, that loss in the World Series, and that's what everything kind of stemmed from when they were thinking about playing the 2024 season. So that was my engaging first 2-3 minutes, my not cold open, but like my opener. Then the motion sequence played, and then
that was your monologue.
Yeah, and then we got back into it with just like what they were thinking right after they lost in Atlanta.
Yeah, a lot of creative decision making for sure.
I know
that's sure.
Dude. There was long nights because like my video this week is the draft, and like that's kind of just like it's almost like a task.
Yeah,
like it's there's 1 through 8. You play their highlights, you write a script for them. Like there's not a lot of creative decisions, but with a documentary, like you can go so many different directions, and like the decisions of what to highlight, what to cut, whose audio is best, how long do I want it to be, how short do I want it to be. If guys are saying pretty much the same thing, do I cut this? Do I keep it to further emphasize it? Do I want to keep the story moving along? Song choices, like how do I want the mood to change when they win, when they're thinking about something, when they're preparing for something, the celebration aspect, the motivational aspect. Like there's so many different things. So
it's a lot.
I think it was pretty rewarding though.
You got anything else?
It was great. Great.
Great.
I'm still waiting for the Magics.
I told Jack, man, there's no like, I'm still down to do it. It's just a matter of when, you know.
No, I know. It's just becoming a running joke
hey, the
now
footage
between
the footage
us.
Is there. The footage.
Oh,
is
we
there.
know the footage.
Like
is
my
there.
favorite.
We know the
documentary.
story's there.
Like
it just needs to be told.
It's like a puzzle pieces just sitting in a box.
It
It's
just
a
needs
bunch
to
of
be put
pieces
together.
just put
Like
together.
all the original 30 for 30s that ESPN did, they were from like the 70s through 90s, and that came out in like 2011, I think the first season. So
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Jack, you could be like 50, man. And I'll get those confessionals, and we'll make a doc.
Can I ask one really
It's just
stupid
when the time
question?
is right, but it'll come.
Yeah.
Really stupid question.
That's what.
So 30 for 30,
Mm-hmm.
ESPN. There's supposed to be 30 stories.
Yeah.
Over.
30 filmmakers, 30 stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
30
have they done
docs.
more than 30 now?
Yeah, that was just the original season
Okay.
1.
Now are they just called?
I mean, there's like 8 seasons.
Is it still called 30 for 30? Though?
Yeah.
So there's like 200 of those, hundreds of those.
Yeah,
No?
yeah.
Dang.
Way more than
That's
30.
crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured. I was like, there's been more than 30 of these
I think
things.
it's probably because
Yeah.
they did so well.
Yeah.
But I think what they really
They're
tried
not going to
to
call it 800 for 800.
they tried
Yeah.
to brand it
Could
30
have.
stories, 30 filmmakers, like 30 docs or something like that.
Yeah. So is every ESPN 30 for? Okay, we're getting on a tangent, but has it all been different people, or have people done more than one now?
Oh, I think it's been more than one because I think Jason Hayher, I forget his last name, but I think he did The Last Dance, and I think he also did the Fab Five. The Fab Five's like my favorite doc
Yeah.
ever, so I'm pretty sure that they've done repeats. at
Maybe
this
each
point.
season they can do.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Landon's been being patient here on the Zoom
Mm.
call. Landon, you can unmute.
What's up, guys?
What's up? World Series champ, famous documentary
Legend.
star, television star.
I mean,
YouTube
where
Cast member.
I got
Yeah.
a question for Landon. How many all those interview clips and cuts that were in the documentary are you like a one take guy for the script? I mean, most of it I'm imagining Kyle's kind of got a script for you, but then he's maybe also just asking you questions to freelance a little bit on some of them. Are you the guy that's more like maybe 1, 2, 3 takes, or are you like a like maybe Chris Cheatham type guy who's
Oh,
taking
come on. Don't give Chris a dagger
No, I'm
there.
just kidding.
It's-
I'm
it'll
just
always
kidding.
be
I'm kidding,
Warda for
Chris.
that
I'm
one
kidding,
Ward
Chris.
show.
I'm kidding,
It'll always
Chris.
be Warda.
Yeah. Where do you fall on that spectrum?
So I would say most of them went, I would say first take.
Yeah, he was good.
One take.
I remember, I think one or two of them, my brother's phone went off when he was playing like
Yeah,
Clash
that got
Royale.
cut. There were some Carson moments.
Oh boy, where are those bloopers?
There's a couple Carson
filmed.
funny moments thrown in there, but I think most of them were first take.
There was one of them. It was like a super dramatic moment. Like he was giving like a speech about like what drove him to get there, and they're in the World Series. And Carson's playing like full blast TikTok. It just like went off, and then Landon broke. But the doc was so like serious. I didn't want to like put that funny blooper right at the end of it to like change the mood.
Yeah,
so that's why I didn't
I agree.
include that.
Wouldn't be appropriate.
Exactly, but that's Carson moment there.
Well, Landon, what did you think of it watching it back? I'm sure it was cool for you because you're obviously a part of the team, but just give us the raw initial thoughts after watching it the first time.
I mean, Kyle, I thought you did a great job overall, like putting it all together, and the parts that were filmed that you did put in and didn't put in. I thought it all flowed really nicely. And the people I watched it with too, like my roommates, my parents watched it. Like they were like, yeah, that was like a bang up documentary. And I agreed, like it was very well done.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, you did a good job. You came prepared. I thought all you guys gave just like a different feel to things. Daniel was very articulate. You guys were both spoke from the heart. You both spoke like what you were really feeling. That's all I was asking for. So I think just the realness kind of really spoke on camera, and that made for a true doc, and it made it a little bit easier for me to edit because when you give good answers like that, you know, I don't have to cut too much. So appreciate you, bro.
Landon, how long was your interview for this documentary? How long was your confessional?
I don't know, Kyle. What do you think? Maybe like 20 minutes?
Okay, so
What?
no, I think his was
Maybe
longer.
a little longer?
I think Daniel's was the longest. I peppered him with questions. It was about 50 minutes. And I think the one that took the least amount of time was Carson at about 15 or 20 minutes. Landon, I think you were in the middle, but maybe between like 30, 35 minutes around that time.
Okay.
So it was pretty solid, but I think with you especially, there was more questions about like what you were thinking about when facing Jordan, or like on your home runs or your RBI single or whatever in the World Series. So there was different questions for different guys, and I think Landon was right in the middle for just the amount we had.
Landon,
That's pretty efficient.
Landon makes hitting sound so easy. He's like, yeah, I was looking for that pitch, got it, and just barreled it. Like two or three different times.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same exact thing when I was watching. I was like,
Just
why
took
don't
it.
I just do that?
He's like,
Why
he's
don't I
been
just
throwing
look,
that
why don't
pitch
I
all
just look
day,
for
so
a
I
pitch?
just hit it.
I love how he said too. He was like, he threw that pitch and he beat me on it. Almost like in your head, you knew he was going to come back to it because he beat you on it. So you were waiting for him to throw it again, and then he just smoked it.
Yeah. That was pretty. You were kind of a menace. I like, again, I forget things.
Yeah.
I knew Landon ended our season, but then seeing it again in the World Series, it was like, this guy's a killer.
Killer.
He's a true killer.
Was there? We were just commenting, Tommy and I, about how the documentary did a good job of sort of reminding us of stuff that maybe we didn't really remember happened or didn't remember it in that way. When you were going through like the process of filming this, and then I guess even after watching it, were there any of those moments for you? Like, even though you went through it, obviously, were there any moments that kind of stood out as like, oh yeah, that I didn't really remember it that way, but that played a huge part in our season?
Obviously, like in the moment when these things happen, it's just like more of a, oh yay, we won. But like when you look back on it, like especially against the Mallards, like those home runs, like if we lose that game, we might not even make it literally past the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So like just the little moments of like that first home run to tie the game. I mean, if that home run is like a little bit shorter, because that hardly got out. I mean, if that's a little bit shorter and it's caught or off the wall, like the Mallards could have won the World Series theoretically. I mean, it's pretty crazy to just look at it from that point of view.
No, I thought the same thing because like I forget, I blacked that memory from my own head, and then I'm thinking, yeah, the Eagles just stormed through this postseason. They were undefeated. Nobody touched them. It's like we had them beat twice in the first game. We blew it both times. Not that we blew it, but you know they're a good team. I mean, there's a reason they won. I think they were probably more. We were like, our ceiling was so high,
Mm-hmm.
but we just didn't execute. So that's all I'm going to say about it. But I mean, Landon, you had a great postseason. You've had a great couple of years, honestly.
Yep.
Cool to see you get a bit of a spotlight in this video, I'm sure. Kyle, was there anything that like impressed you about Landon in this doc particularly? He was a pretty big character in this thing.
Yeah, he's just poised, man.
Poised.
Gave me some good answers. Like you said, it was pretty much one take. If I wanted some sort of different twist on things, I would just ask him it differently. But he was prepared. Even Carson was prepared. Shout out to Carson, gave me some fun clips. All the guys, they were just ready to go.
Landon, was there any stories that remain untold on this Eagles team, or did Kyle really hit it all?
Good question.
Yeah, full of good questions. Can't win a postseason.
Like in terms of wiffle ball aspects or wiffle ball related.
Like
anything
I'd
that
say
should have been told.
Any stories, like the team, the bonding, the behind the scenes, the plays, like, you know, conversations between innings. Like, what else really you think factored into this run that maybe wasn't highlighted? Are there any stories? Looking for some
stories.
Yeah, stories.
Not really a whole lot. I think like the bond that we've really created kind of was honestly as much off the field as it was on the field. Like off the field, I feel like we really just got along well. And that's something that not a lot of teams, even though they're smaller teams, like 5-6 guys, that's not a lot. I mean, not a lot of teams can get that bond. Like sometimes there's back talk. I don't like how he's doing this. But off the field, like we just got along great. Like, I don't know, like it was just the chemistry. Like it really just translated to off the field and on the field. So really not too much. Like I think the main points were really spotted in the documentary.
Fair.
Did it overall, like, because I would have to imagine that you had some sort of idea of what the documentary would look like, knowing that you were going to be a part of it. But I've always been impressed with, like, when we're filming certain videos for MLW and then the way Kyle cuts it up and sequences it is like, maybe it's kind of what I thought, or maybe it's totally different. Like, did the actual product of the documentary come out how you were envisioning, or was it, where did it differ, if it did at all?
So I was just more differed by like the amount of just little details and little graphics that Kyle can kind of incorporate into like any video. Like the introduction, that was just like crazy good. And typically, obviously, when you're watching MLW, it's just a typical like average introduction. Not average, but
shots fired. Landon, he just spent the last 7 weeks of his life making a documentary about you. You're gonna call the intro average? That's bold.
Not necessarily average.
All right, recut it. Cut out Landon. No, I'm just messing with you, dude.
Like MLW intro, and then now when it switches it up a little bit, it kind of throws a little curveball where it's like, oh, this is pretty awesome.
No, we all talked about it already, so it's probably fair to say.
Appreciate it.
You didn't give us an exact time. What would you estimate hours was on that intro?
No idea, but it was on the intro.
Yeah,
few days, just like nonstop.
Few days,
couple days.
Intro. And how many seconds is that clip in the video?
It's about 28.
Yeah, there you go. A few days for 28 seconds.
That's crazy.
But it is an important part of it. I mean,
yeah,
100%.
The 30 for 30 music just like gets you fired up.
I know.
If you've watched any 30 for 30s, which if you haven't, I highly recommend you do, because they're fantastic. But it's sort of like there's those certain jingles and melodies that kind of just like spark certain things.
March Madness.
Like
March Madness, like da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. You're just like, let's go. Here we go. It's March. The 30 for 31 is like, all right, you're ready to just like lock in for like an hour, and it's going to be like epic documentary if you're into sports documentaries.
No, sure. I would agree. Oh, you did? Okay, you can come sit here if you want.
All right.
Yeah, bring the mic. Kyle's coming into the main frame. For all you audio listeners. Well, Landon, thank you for joining us. How are you bowling right now? It is bowling season is wrapping up.
Let's get down to the real important questions.
Okay. So it's kind of tough being away at college, but I've still gotten in the lanes a little bit. I actually just shot a couple days ago. It was 208 average for 6 games. So it was all right. I left some pins out there, but I guess you always leave a little bit out there with every sport. But my college dodgeball season, which is a club sport, that just wrapped up last weekend. So that was pretty fun to kind of try something new and get out there a little bit.
Spartans? Champs?
No, Spartans sold.
Who won?
They were Cincinnati won.
Oh, I thought Spartans ran college dodgeball.
Miami, Ohio won. They beat Cincinnati in the finals, but the Spartans won in 23 and 24.
Yes,
so this was for their three-peat. They lost in the top 4.
It's tough to three-peat, man. Ask Patrick Mahomes.
I think I gotta start bowling just so I can say getting in the lanes. That's pretty cool. You gotta
hit the lanes.
I'm getting in the lanes.
Hit the lanes.
I haven't been getting in the lanes enough lately.
I don't think I bowled once last year. I bowled twice this year. I got a turkey both times. Pretty happy with that.
Which for the listeners who don't know what that is.
3 strikes in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
Landon's a niche sport legend though.
Landon is a niche sport
dodgeball,
legend.
wiffle ball. That's an insane trio.
I don't think I've ever got 3 strikes in a row.
Wild trio.
It's hard. It's not an easy task. Why are you laughing so much?
The getting in the lanes. I think I'm going to be stuck on that now.
The lanes. You got to hit the lanes.
I know that's it. That's cool bowling lingo that I haven't
I'm
been
a big fan
to.
of.
I'm not a bowler.
I'm going to roll the stones.
That's great. That is fantastic. Left a lot of pins out there. I like it.
A lot of pins need to be cleaned up, Landon. A lot of pins. Is there any other? So roll the stones, hit the lanes. Is there any other good bowling lingo we should be aware of? Any wiffle ball lingo we should be aware of?
I mean, you guys got the wiffle ball lingo, but I wouldn't say there's like loads of wiffle ball lingo, to be honest. There's probably some if you think about it, but
just pipe it up.
Of bowling
pipe it up. Go smack the plastic around.
Yep.
Nickage.
Hit the tin.
Nickage. Throw the old ball around. I don't know. But all right. Well, Kyle, you got anything else for Landon?
Bangerang.
Nah, just appreciate you, bro. That's a insane story of 2 years. I mean, the kid's absolutely clutch. He won that award for a reason. Just going yard to win game 1 was just like one of my favorite memories ever in MLW. So
with the shades on.
Yeah, you'll forever have that moment.
Yeah,
and
with the shades on inside.
I'm so glad this whole story was put into a documentary.
Did Josh Young dap you up for that?
I think we were talking a little bit throughout the game. Just because I obviously didn't play the field, so I was kind of just chilling on the sideline.
Yeah.
So I got to talk to him. I think he did maybe a fist bump.
All right. I take a fist bump from an MLB player.
I would take it for sure.
Yeah.
Never walk my hand again.
Josh was loving it. That's the one thing I didn't want to mention. It kind of took away from the Eagles story, but there were some questions about Josh just being there and stuff. But
in the confessionals?
Yeah, just a little bit. Okay. But it was just about how cool it was for him being there. The first pitch, how it kind of set the mood, but Josh was the best. He was always in their ear, just being I think he's gonna give you not
Was Josh favoring the Eagles? Was this whole World
I don't think he was favoring anybody, but he was just kind of he was more so just taking it in. He was kind of just taking it in. Yeah. He was just admired by
as an advisor.
Yeah.
Just taking it in.
Just the walk off home runs and putting the ball in play and hitting that and but Dallas's banana ball. He was just in awe of all that stuff.
Yeah. All right, Landon. Well, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you representing the Eagles tonight. Round of applause for yourself now. On a great season. Bounce back. The revenge tour is complete. You got your ring.
Beast.
And we'll see you out there in the Meadows here in a few weeks for your opening day series.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys for having me on.
Always good to catch up with Lando.
Yeah.
He's a menace. He is very good at this game.
That is a good description for him if he's not on your team. He is like a menace.
Pesky menace.
He's just such a hard out.
He is.
And comes up so clutch in those moments that just shatter you, just break your heart. If you're playing against him.
He's got the clutch gene. Is Landon's first career game a walk-off single, or is his second year he did that?
Ooh, that's a good question. It was against your Magic.
Up the middle.
I think it was a walk-off single.
That first career game?
First career game. I think the story was right there for us.
Yeah.
He's pesky.
He is.
He's kind of forgot about that till now.
I remembered. I was there.
Yep, 2022. So this is going to be his 4th year in the league already.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he missed half a season with an injury.
That's right.
Landon bounced back from an injury, too.
That's actually when their kind of resurgence started. After Landon's injury in 23, they were kind of struggling, but he came back,
he did get injured.
kind of got him right.
Came back in Vermont, right?
Yeah, that's when he
hit a homer at Wrigley.
He had a full series there. Homered at Wrigley off Sailor.
It's actually electric.
In a muddy, rainy setting, but Landon's the man.
Well, he is the man. Another doc in the books. I think I've asked you this before, Kyle, but I don't want to like you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but are there any untold stories in MLW right now that you like, not including Jack, but are there any stories that you think could be told right now?
Yeah. Well, there's 2 docs I eventually want to do. One probably about like a specific person, and then another one where the doc does not end on a happy ending.
Wait, so are you saying that as if you already know that person, or you're just saying in theory,
I would have like a couple guys. I would have a couple
it?
Guys in mind, but I don't want to say it. But up to this point, every doc has kind of concluded in a World Series title, and everybody just talking about how like everything was worth it and how everything paid off. But like some of the best docs are some that, again, my Fab Five, they lost in the championship 2 years in a row, and like the fallout from that, what happened, where they are now, like that's like a doc storyline, or I forget the word for it. But just theme that I've never really attacked, and I think could be really fun to do in the future.
Yeah.
Also, like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people want to just go back way back then to like the OG days of MLW, like 2010 and 12, bring back all the guys that just played in my front yard. I think that could be a really cool one, but I'm always also like free flowing. Like, you never know. I'm always looking for storylines during this season, during last season. And yes, Jack is always in my ear about the 2023 Magic, and I for sure want to capture that someday. Last year, the time was just not right. I didn't have enough time. And the thing is, like, all these docs that, were filmed took place in the 80s, 90s and stuff, made in, like, the 2010s. Like, there's no timetable on that kind of thing. So, who knows? Maybe it could be next.
You're gonna come interview me. So, what were you thinking at that bat? I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember what you're talking about.
I think that'd be awesome.
Let's see. This was in 20. Your Jack's old and gray.
Even the Diamondbacks 2022 SoFi run, like the whole trip, like that could definitely see its time in a future documentary. Like we said, like
the Central Cardinals doc
stuff that didn't make the videos. That
I do think it would be cool to
a ton of stuff were filmed. Like another thing we haven't done, like all the docs I've done are from the year prior. So like that'd be a cool new thing. Whether it's you guys, the 22 Diamondbacks, something else. That's another thing I haven't done before. Would like to do.
I think it would be cool to do some sort of, I don't know what it exactly would look like, but I was telling Kyle and Tommy before we were recording that I was watching old MLW videos last night actually, and I would be curious to know like what the interest level would be from all the new fans that we've got over the past like 3-4 years that maybe haven't watched any videos from like 2016, 2017, 2018, like that transition from like Schultz to the Meadows. You could probably find like that footage would be really cool to see, like a whole documentary of all that footage that we just like forgot about. You know what I mean? Of us just being like, so like, it's all out there.
Yeah, it's
all out there, but people, aren't necessarily like, some people are, but not everyone's going through like the archives and watching like the full 2016 season.
Eventually,
not as big of a season, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Much like how Dude Perfect has done from the very beginning to just becoming a media mogul, like later on in life, like the absolute full story of MLW. That's a huge one I want to do. And that would be like an hour and a half.
Right. That would be a really long one.
And
so much footage.
That'd be like, I think they filmed that when they started touring or something, like a huge thing. So that'd be like when we would get like some sort of deal or have a stadium or have like this full on new chapter in our lives that like takes our brand to the next level. Bringing it all the way back to when we were 11 years old in my front yard would be an insane like front to end just storyline. And I think that's the time where I'd really want to bring in all the OGs, all the guys from our high school days, transitioning to the Meadows era, how that kind of amplified everything to where we are right now, where we're traveling around to stadiums for the first time in the past 3 years. We're doing tournaments all across the country, been on national TV, had MLB.com write about us, like all these types of things. That's one thing, going back to your question of like something I'd eventually like to do.
That's my first answer, probably would just be the story of MLW.
Yeah, the entire story.
Story's not done.
That'd be insane. Could you imagine?
Job not done.
Dude, if that's the case,
finished.
I'd want to like get like an A-list like narrator.
Yeah.
Be insane.
We've already had some A-list narrators.
Or maybe
really.
me.
We really already had some A-list narrators.
Yeah, Jeff Reckner.
You could AI that thing now. You could get Morgan Freeman on there easily.
AI the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just use the YouTube clips.
We're just going to TikTok caption to voice that.
Yeah.
MLW started in 2010. Just completely devalue the doc.
Oh. Speaking of tournaments, we don't have a lot of time left, but
yes, I wanted to talk about
how was the tournament?
Yes, Midwest Slugfest. It was the 6th annual edition this year. And first shout out, Louisville Slugger Sports Complex. They are absolutely awesome. I mean, just from setting up the fields to giving us gift cards to all the places in town to eat, and just like their service with us and just treating us, they were awesome. And then in terms of the tourney field, there was 24 teams, and it was an absolute saturated field with talent. Like everybody there, it seems like has been traveling to our tournaments like 5-6 times that we've seen them. We've had a few new teams, like the team NWA that won the 16 plus. There's a couple guys in there from the fast pitch scene. More so the clean ball.
NWA, like Pat's team?
Yeah.
They won it all?
Yeah, they won it all.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, they were really great guys. We went to dinner with them, and that was kind of the theme all across all 3 divisions. Just like a lot of good people, a lot of good fun out there, great talent, a lot of home runs, a lot of strikes. People really were enjoying just like the new format of being allowed to bring their own wiffle balls, so they felt prepared. It was just a lot of great games going on, and the championship for 16 plus went to 8 innings. It was an absolute duel, and for you guys that know, in our MLW tournaments, when games do go to 8 innings, the bases start loaded, and one of the teams gave up 1 walk, and the other team gave up 2. So it was an absolute pitcher's duel in the title game for Pat Ballman's NWA to beat the VWL Flamingos, who knocked out my team.
Oh, the Flamingos.
Previously in the tournament. So, of course, it was those 2.
That's actually pretty sick.
Absolute ballers on both squads.
Sounds like it was a heck of a game.
Yeah. Give us the best. Were there any cool team names or give us the best jerseys?
Yeah, we gave a lot of suggestions.
We gave a lot of suggestions.
I got to give a shout out to the Downtown Dill Pickles. That was a good team name.
That's a good name.
That's pretty good.
I like that.
Trying to think, the Megalodons. I've never seen that mascot in sports, but that was a couple
Sharks.
I think they were 11 and 12 year olds, so they were really fun.
Megalodon. How do they come up with that?
A bunch of fans that came that weren't even in the tournament, that were just there to meet us.
Okay. Any pod listeners that we're aware of?
Oh, there was a lot of pod listeners.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, just off the top of my head, people traveled in from, of course, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, Indiana, Illinois.
Yeah, of course.
But then also Nebraska, Washington, Texas, New York, Missouri, and Florida. So, I mean, this thing was just like heavily attended from all over the country.
Well, so 24 teams. How many states you just list? Like 10, 12?
Yeah, I mean, like these are players all across this.
Yeah.
Like all on all-star teams or just like within the MLW Instagram community. There's a couple teams. Of course, the Penguins was a big fan favorite this weekend.
Penguins.
Yeah, they got a big win against the Grasshoppers.
Oh, the Hoppers. That's a classic franchise.
But it was just
was Benny a Hopper?
Yeah, Benny's a Hopper.
Benny's a Hopper.
But we saw Pishka. Pishka was there with the Sticks.
Okay.
That was kind
Sticks
of
is also a classic.
That was the team he came up with.
Yep.
And then like Jackson was there playing with the CI prospects, who he's kind of became friends with over the course of like these MLW tournaments, which I always think is cool. Like, and it's the same thing with the Penguins too. Like people becoming friends from the MLW Penguins community connection. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we had to have had over like I want to say 12 or 15 MLW players there. While we had 2 MLW squads, like MLW Blue and Red, there was like many more players on different teams.
Wow. What were the Penguins' uniforms?
They were white. I think they had penguins and script. I think they had a little penguin mascot on the side. But
okay, I think
I would have gone with the
that's like the most
red
MLW knowledgeable team ever.
Red bow tie. What penguin wears a bow tie? It's definitely a thing.
Youngstown State.
That's what it
Penguins.
is?
They're the Penguins. Yeah,
Okay,
they're the one penguin team I know.
Red bow tie.
Yeah, they're red.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, red and white.
Sounds like a good time.
It was a really good time.
Got to see Bennett. Got to see Pish.
Who else did we see?
A couple of friendly faces.
Pat Ballman, of course.
Ballman, PB.
I mean, we're talking Nick Saylor, Jimmy Norp, Jonah Heath.
Oh, we're talking.
Dallas Allen, Sawyer BN. That was my squad.
Did we win?
How did Sawyer play?
Did we win the MLW win?
It was the team NWA with Pat Ballman.
PB?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was. Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Extremely competitive 16 plus division.
Baby Rain.
16 plus division sounds loaded.
It was, dude.
I would have been striking out a lot.
Yep. We played all right, but it was
Jack,
I'm 1 for 1 in Peoria.
You won that.
1 for 1 in Peoria.
That's true. It was me, you,
I have
Russell,
not
and
won a
Pearson.
tournament in ages.
What was the last one you won?
Like a long time ago.
Like 2018 Mitten? Like that far back?
Like
that was probably the Sports Forest Park one. The first one.
No, I think I got one after that. The one that the Celine Spies one, I also won.
Yeah, it's a very long time ago.
Yeah.
That's where, dude.
When's our next tournament?
We're talking the Wiffle in the Mitten, Brighton, Michigan, Legacy Center, August 3rd weekend.
Come on. Mark your calendar.
Come on.
Are we going to see you there? We never see you there.
Waffle number 5.
We had 95 teams there last year, Jack.
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
If everything goes right,
I'm pretty sure I had multiple cousins playing in that, by the way.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tourney season. Tourneys are fun. Tourneys are long, but they are fun. It's fun when you do good, too. I haven't done good in a lot of them, but I recently listened back to a portion of the pod where I was in Long Island with the Dippin' Dots and the protein shake.
When you overdo it.
Yeah, but I pitched good in that tourney. Then I had a clutch walk-off bomb. It was sick.
Oh, shout out to Bryson Livingston. He came from Arizona. That's one of the ones I forgot.
Okay, nice.
He played on the team, Tommy, that you played against in Arizona at the Valley Whiff tournament.
The walk-off?
Where I think they beat you. I'm not sure if that was the team that beat you, but I think one of your pool play games, I think that was a team
they probably
you played.
had a walk-off against us.
Yeah, so I made sure to think about that and mention that to you.
Wonder if you're listening to this right now.
It was you, Chadwick, and Georgie.
To this day. Yeah. And Brendan Schultz.
So, like, dude, while there wasn't 95 teams, like, people were truly from all over in this tournament, which was just insane to me.
Yeah, it was a good group, it sounds like.
And, like...
That's what you get in these April tournaments, though.
Yeah, I'll say this now, like, a ton of people that I think could be drafted into MLW, if not this year, then next year or the year after that. Like, yeah, I'll just say that now, so I can clip that, Jack, like we were talking about.
It's a pipeline.
Yep. Yeah, there's a ton of people at the 2025 Midwest Slugfest that are going to be eventually in the league.
Put it in the archives.
That's going to be clipped right there.
Future documentary.
Yep, for sure.
I
put a clip of you in the doc. See that?
Yeah.
Like,
from the
Eagles kind of just stayed the same this year.
Yeah, from the
pod. Yeah, you did.
Nothing's really exciting here.
Yeah.
They're going to win the World Series.
It was perfect.
It's tough luck, Jack.
It was perfect.
No, but that's what the media was saying at the time.
You know what? What hat was I wearing?
Champ hat.
Got it in the doc.
All right. Well, good pod, boys. Good to have Jack back.
Yeah.
Glad we could exchange gifts here in mid-April as summer's upon us.
Fantastic. I think it should be a new tradition.
No, I 100% agree.
I was going to say, if I had known that it was going to take until mid-April to exchange gifts, I could have maybe come up with something more creative than golf balls. But then again, I did have a full year between the 2023 Christmas and 2024 Christmas, so I can't really say that.
Well, I think, Jack, if I get these in December, I guess it's like when I actually
They're
go to golf.
They're just going to sit on your shelf.
When I go to golf, I'm like, oh, I got golf balls, cool. But now it's like I can use these like in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah,
like I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
So
those will be in the woods by the end of June.
These will be littered. These will be littered in the woods of Southeast Michigan.
Yeah.
Within 2 rounds,
easily.
So find some tailor-made ones.
Yeah.
I'll play with the ones first, I suppose. And yeah, maybe I should sign them all.
Just
if you guys find them.
Mark them TC.
Mark them
TC3.
If you find a ball at Huron Meadows here in Brighton, Michigan, or somewhere in Metro Detroit, tailor-made with the TC on it, it's from this box. So I'll play with the ones first. I'll let you know what course I lose those on.
Yep.
I'll play with the 2s.
Perfect.
Then the 3s. Then we'll conclude with the 0s. Is there 0s in here? Or are there 4s?
I think it's probably 1 through 4.
1 through 4.
I guess.
See if I can see. I will initial these for any. Oh, there's 0.
Oh, perfect.
0, 1, 2, and 3.
Nice.
So
zeros are cool.
I'll let you know where I lose these. You guys can do a scavenger hunt for them. I'll let you know what hole I lose them on. Somewhere in these woods on the 5th hole of Whitmore Lake, the links. You can find my tailor-made ball. All right.
Good pod.
Good pod. Thank you, Jack, for the gift. I do appreciate it.
Thanks
for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Draft this Friday, huh?
I know. It's dude, things are moving in MLW right now.
Things are moving.
More announcements to come. Whether that's special series, MLW player transactions.
Ooh.
There's a lot to look for in this draft video. I might just say right now. So stay tuned.
A lot of packed action.
Packed action.
All right,
packed action.
Well, stay tuned, folks. Don't miss it on Friday, 4:00 on the channel. The draft, and Jack and I will break it down for you next week. So it's upon us. It's upon us.
It is.
Buckle up, folks. We'll see you next week.
Pipe it up.